What time is it now? I'm gonna let you guys have a. We started at 7:45. No, you guys don't want to break. You don't want to pee. You don't want to pee. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Now we're gonna move on to questions. Oh, yes, ma'am. You just do it. You make it up because you do an improv. Yes, ma'am. Even if you have, yeah, even if the audience, let's say that you get a style and you completely fudge your way through it. That's an example of not embracing the failure, of just going, oh, I have no idea what octogenarian means. So, in my mind, I'm going to do the next closest thing. It sounds like oxygen, so I'm going to be a character and say that and do something based on oxygen. Fine. And the audience will just have to accept it. And the fact that you are so committed to it, they'll go, oh, I see what they did. Okay, you messed up, but we still like you. And then they will forgive you, and the scene continues to go on. I hope that answered that for you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Beulah? Anyone? Yes, in the back, sir. You keep giving offers. You try to help them. You almost literally grab them by the hand and continue to try to give them offers, a lifeline, so to speak, until they grab onto it and help you build the rest of the scene. Or if they continue to just crash and burn, you have to, for the sake of whatever that scene is, you just can't stop and go, okay, folks, sorry, we're just going to start over. It's up to you to maintain whatever you had, whether it was by keeping the scene alive with the physicality, bringing in another character, trying to think of an offer that'll get that person off stage maybe and wrap things up. You can't stop. You have to continue going because it's all on your back. It's an improv scene. You have nothing to wait on. And that's what's great about doing improv. It's made up. The audience doesn't know, so who's to say you're wrong? Anything that you do on stage is right. That's what's going to help you get over failure. Anything you do is right. Nothing that you can possibly do is wrong unless it's one of the rule breakers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I absolutely do that. And it isn't something I do just because of improv. It's just that I'm an avid reader. I love reading and I love watching stuff. I love watching people. But that's something that goes hand in hand with just being an actor. You always ought to be observant. You should always be people watching, taking in nuances. You should always be up on things. Because if you go in on an audition and it's someone who either knows a specific subject, is a doctor of something, or is a race car driver and knows a specific thing, it's up to you to go out and research that and find that out. So I just try to know as much as I can. And I'm glad you asked that. It's funny because sometimes you work with people that they aren't maybe as well read or they aren't as current on pop culture, and you make a reference, and they'll look at you like you are a complete alien. And when that happens, you have to keep on going because at that point you've lost the contact because you made a reference and like, I don't know. And if someone does that to you, even if you don't know exactly what they're talking about, embrace it at face value. Take whatever they said and break it down in your head any way that you can. Don't just go, oh, I don't understand that. I'm going to stick to whatever I'm doing because that's selfish. You can't do that. Yes, ma'am. You want to steer away from questions because questions are really gossiping, But you can ask a question if the question is loaded because in your mind you've asked the question knowing that the answer will further the scene. That you basically really have set up the other person. That, let's say that Jonathan and I were doing that firefighting scene. When I could have asked him a question about how many people are in there? What are we going to use? Because I'm trying to set him up. So what are we going to use to put out the fire? Leaving him open to either say water or to come up with something else to solve the problem. That way, I'm not trying to be the hero of the scene. I'm trying to give something to my partner and letting him go forward. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And if you can't hear, it's if someone establishes a scene and someone denies it. Go on. Well, once again, it's one of those things, theory versus practice. Theory is you are supposed to, that if that person, let's say that Alan was juggling and I came in and started dancing with him, Alan could try to keep that reality of, hey, I'm juggling here. Try to force that. And it's awkward. It's uncomfortable for them. It's uncomfortable for us in the audience. Or, yes, and his mess up. Okay, sure. Now I'm dancing. And take the scene from there. You become the bigger person on stage. You turn his block into a yes and. You know what? Okay, I'm going to follow you. And now let's see what you do with it. Okay, you didn't? Then I'm going to take it back and let's start. You know, so it isn't in a competitive nature, but you always want to say, okay, well if this isn't working, let me try this. You always try to keep your options open in an improv scene because you don't know where it's going to go, so you always want to have some place to go. And that's what no does. No cuts off your options. You know, just like in life, if you're asking someone a question and they say no, I don't want to talk about it. But nope, done. Then you can't get anywhere. Just finish. And it's so funny that I preach that and I use it on stage, and my wife kids me sometimes because I'm such a 10-year-old, and if I'm playing my games or doing something that I don't want to do, I'm like, no. It's like, well, I thought you're not supposed to say no. Like, well, okay, yes. After I play my video game, and so definitely that's a bad thing. So keep your options open.